The Philippines is an archipelagic country, meaning it is composed of islands that are surrounded by, yes, water. Not only is the Philippines physically defined by water, according to the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, 25 to 30% of the labor force's primary source of income comes from agriculture, which includes the four subsectors of crops, cattle, poultry, and fisheries. About 10% of the gross domestic product is affected by it. Among these subsectors, we see that water is an integral component.
If water is so important, then why are we still suffering from water scarcity? How can we ensure that one of the most important components of life would not pour its last drop? As a generation fueled with unlimited access to knowledge and communication, we must step up to ensure that water will flow today and to the future. But first, we must cover the main concern that characterizes these issues, namely, water scarcity. According to UNICEF, 4 billion people, or almost two-thirds of the population, experience severe water scarcity for at least 1 month each year. If this issue remains unsolved, by the year 2025, half of the world's population could suffer from water scarcity.
Water scarcity pops up as the most obvious concern when it comes to water. According to the Global Citizen Org, water scarcity affects 1 in 3 Africans, where sub-Saharan Africa has 400 million inhabitants who lack access to adequate drinking water and must travel 30 minutes on average daily to access water. The negative impact of water scarcity does not only economically manifest itself, but socially as well, where stereotypes are put on Africans regarding the issue of water scarcity. Being deemed a social problem, the issue of water scarcity will take a unified societal effort that is long-term and universal to resolve. According to Concern Worldwide US, the major causes of water scarcity are climate change and natural disasters, war and conflict, and lack of data and infrastructure. Since most of these causes can be monitored through sufficient governmental efforts, we center our potential actions towards governmental change, where we use our voices to provide scientific advice and serve as citizen scientists. We identify water sources and water management as two subtopics we can provide potential actions for addressing water scarcity.
According to the Philippine Statistics Authority, the top 5 sources of drinking water amongst Filipino families are as follows. 1. Water filling stations. 2. Piped into dwelling. 3. Tube well borehole. 4. Protected spring well. 5. Pipe to yard plot. In some areas of the Philippines, water sources are usually limited, and as a result, deliveries are regularly stopped to maintain capacity. 6 to 8 months of the year are mainly dry. During these times, there are severe water shortages and residents must rely on potentially unsafe drinking water sources. Additionally, they may not have access to enough water for washing, which is necessary for maintaining a minimal level of cleanliness and warding off disease. In some areas of the nation, the water supply is so poor and inconsistent that it has major negative impact on health. Currently, the Philippine Clean Water Act RA 9275 serves as a primary governing law that aims to monitor water resources in the Philippines through guidelines and calling upon localized and institutional efforts. These guidelines establish the prohibited acts and their corresponding penalties in order to ensure the water quality in various water sources is preserved. However, with the growing demand for water filling and water purification stations nationwide, it goes to show that the current governing efforts is not sufficient to address issues regarding water sources. Therefore, we can provide more information that can be potentially used to create another effort in addressing the sub-issue of water sources.
One major innovation that is currently being applied to Ghana, Kenya, Ethiopia, and Haiti is the drinkable book. It is an educational and water filtering tool in the shape of a drinkable book developed by the organization Water is Life that collaborated with scientists at Carnegie Mellon. Every page contains basic water and sanitation advice that is printed on scientific coffee filter paper that can be used to purify water and reduce 99.9% of bacteria. Considering that these countries are economically poorer than the Philippines, it shows that we can also apply the same innovation, which does not only address the issue of water sources but also contributes to the educational progress of isolated and far-flung communities.
Considering the situation of water sources in the Philippines as covered before, the current state of water resources in the Philippines should be a cause for concern among policymakers. The current water governance in the Philippines does not recognize both statutory rules and customary rules because as customary systems are undermined, they leave a void that statutory systems are ill-equipped to fill given the limited administrative capacity in the country. Along with the 30 public sector agencies, national and LGU-based, managing the water resources in the Philippines, the main governing effort towards water management is characterized by the Water Code of the Philippines or NWRB 1976. It is an overarching law that governs water access, allocation, and use. It stipulates rules on appropriation and utilization of all waters, control, conservation, and protection of waters, watershed, and related land resources, and administrative and enforcement of these rules. However, due to various conflicts between national policies and local agreements, between ICCs and local governments, sacred use of water versus other uses, we see that the current institutional regulatory framework is weak. One of the current innovations regarding water management is wastewater processing. Without proper previous treatment, large volumes of wastewater are released. Freshwater reserves get contaminated when water waste in industrial and domestic activities is not controlled. New advances in wastewater treatment aim to efficiently recover used water in several sectors. Innovative oxidation techniques, absorption or biosorption, and biological and anaerobic treatments all show promising outcomes. They efficiently remove contaminants from wastewater in conjunction with solar irradiation and use microbial decomposition to lessen the quantity of sludge generated. So that water needs may be met, wastewater processing methods reduce impurities. Notable examples of startups that revolve around this innovation are the Swiss startup Oxyle, which uses a nano-catalyst reactor that eliminates toxic micropollutants from wastewater, and the Italian startup Algasis, which utilizes algae-based wastewater treatment.
According to an article by the International Water Association, Geographical Information Systems, or GIS, have become an essential tool for water utilities, providing them with the ability to extract value from their data to improve their business processes. These systems enable companies to integrate and represent an ever-increasing flow of information, including any data with geospatial content. This allows utilities to bring together the value of the location and its information in a single tool where it can be centrally managed. This provides valuable information to guide actions and solve problems, such as monitoring changes made to infrastructure. In short, GIS enables water utilities to effectively manage and utilize their data to improve their operations. The issue of water scarcity has been around and continues to grow negatively in our society. Being a citizen of the country, our inputs are as valuable to produce outputs that affect everyone. Should the overall key points be presented are: call for modern, innovative, and amended laws and policies. The current outdated government policies should be reassessed to take in modern knowledge and innovations that can better manage water scarcity. The water issues circling incompetent and inadequate policies reflect where STS stands in fastening the quick address of the matter. Boost innovations and forward essential efforts in catering local and national water issues. A bridge we need to cross is the vital acknowledgement of STS in its role of producing innovations, whether it be an observation of a locally applicable technique or a global innovative effort. Encouraging and exercising scientific innovations for local and national use imply the greater deal of fostering STS in government policies. Extension of mutual ground for STS and government in terms of communal development. The catch for this ground does not solely address the water issue. Determining the interdependent relationship of science, technology, and state policies lies on its establishment and implementations. There is a need for more policies like Republic Act 2067 or the Science Act of 1958, aiming to integrate and intensify science and technology for further inventions. State efforts are a key component of development, which lies adjacent to technology and science. Governing policy without scientific and technological advice is as weak as the capabilities of science and technology without governing policy support. Science, technology, and society incorporates various angles of tackling and addressing issues to which the community should accost.